So I just got reconfigured. I was using my Mac for a while and I wanted to get back into this project, which it does actually run on Mac. Um, my advisor is a big proponent for Windows, and I get why, but you can run it on a Mac. I've run it successfully on Mac. So um, I'm on my desktop, and I don't know if I'm going to keep this setup or not, but I thought that, going back through all of my pattern files and seeing, like, okay, where's the initial package, and let me walk you through like the whole setup. And so I already went through an entire video on a lot of the process around like what we did when we were doing my dissertation, and that video is going to come out on YouTube soon, so probably I'll take bits and pieces of that. But I wanted to go and just get the original version that I had, which uses image data to run. So I don't know if I have mentioned or not. I think I've mentioned I was asked to write a couple of papers on machine learning, and while I was working on this project, my advisor was real big on me leaning into machine learning. So I think I covered that in the other video. So what I want to talk about here is just the overall process. So right now I'm copying a really large file to back up, and so this there's like three or four different steps, and so the biggest thing that I want to focus on is just going through the different moving parts. So all of the technology lives here, and so basically my goal is to have most everything running inside of just one kind of common folder file system. And as of right now, I've got a few things kind of scattered around. Good opportunity to clean it up. I'll definitely post a lot more about this whole process, but I wanted to just give a basic walkthrough or rundown of it. So I just finished going through like all of the material that I have, and I have this backed up and different versions of it, but this is the version that's coming out in the Journal of Investing this fall, and I think the data goes through like 2018, but I did recently update it with my advisor, and we have a newer version of it. And the newer version, the conditional returns, which is you've got a pattern, what's the return after the pattern's finished, is really good. So in the past, I think that I either didn't test the image version or I didn't think about it. There was a version that we worked on in between, and it I probably need to go back through it, but it did show really strong returns, but a lot of them were positive, and so I wanted to make sure that like the version that I use is going to be like negative returns following a top, positive returns following a bottom. And so when I found an old file on one of my laptops I had in a storage unit, the one I had used previously a few years ago to run this, I had noticed that the top patterns were mostly negative, the bottom patterns were positive, covering every stock. So what you have here is every stock, and this is an individual file that shows the unique identifier, the date, Don't worry about the negatives. That's just an indexing thing, which means that, it's the approximate price at that point in time. All of those are transformed inside of the program. And then the negative nines are just missing values, which are dealt with. And then you've got the actual returns. And these are just adjustments that you can use to make, if the firm went through a split or a reverse split, you can use that to adjust if you want to. So what we did was we went through and updated everything, and the most recent version I have, it shows that it works in a variety of different formats, but I wanted to go back through this image version since the file that I found showed, that it actually is doing what it's supposed to do on a profitability standpoint. So the more academic versions previously, like Andy Lowe, Journal of Finance 2000, they just go through and test and show that the informational content's there. So these are like 30,000 different return files for every single stock that's been listed, going back to the late 1920s. And so we've updated it and updated it, and this version here is real simple and it works. And so my goal with it is to, at least at this point, show you how to use it and give you a sample data set to use it on. However, what I'd like to do is get to the point to where I can run it on real-time data in real time. So what this does is it uses the package, and you don't need to worry about all of this. I'll talk more about these directories later, but basically I wrote a program that would take a big Excel file with a lot of different stock data in it and split it into individual files, which is what all this is. And within that, this particular file here, it references, the number component of it, which is the unique component, and then all this other stuff is just indexing. So it's telling you, this is the stock, 10,000, 10,001, etc. And as you're splitting it up, this file will just tell you all of the different components that are in there. So that's basically what's used to say, here's what you can expect to see inside of here. And then this is sort of just like the overlap. So when you're driving your car, you have the steering wheel and the gas pedal and the brake, and you can shift it, into park and reverse. And so this is just, basically just front-end dynamics that are going to allow you to interact with all of the technology that's under the hood, like your car. So at the very basic sense, what I'm doing is just using the files that are in here, and then I'm telling it, hey, I want you to run file 5 through file 6. And then this is just allowing you to see that, okay, where are you within file 5 and file 6? How long is it taking? How long did it take totally to process it? And then what it does, and I'll show you how it works inside of there, is it's going to take the actual stock, and it's going to show you where the patterns are. So it's going to say, hey, for this stock, there was a Head and Shoulders in 1986, September 5th, and then there was another one in 1988, February 26th. And then there was a Triangle Top in 1986, December. And then if you wanted to use, the pixel values, these would just show you, what the actual observed pixel values were. And I go through that in the paper. I've got another paper that extends on it a bit, so I'm happy to break that down in a blog post or something and explain more about it. But basically, what you want to look at is here's the Head and Shoulders, and the return was, it dropped 2%. Here's the inverse Head and Shoulders, and it went up 1.2%. Here's the other one, and it went up, almost 3%. So that's what you want to reference. And so when I looked at that big file and it showed every single head and shoulders across all of those 30,000 some stocks, and the overall theme, basically just taking every single return, and it's going, hey, they're negative on average. Well, that's a lot of stocks, and that's, stocks that are, it's all US listed stocks, which is good, and it's stocks that have, enough continuous data to make a pattern, which is good. But I'd like to know, if I want to run it on, like a futures data set, or I want to run it on intraday data, or a different data set like weekly data or monthly data, or the current passing stocks of like the CanSlim model, can I still get this same theme with it? So this right here, I think, is going to be what I'll have in the intermediate version, which I'll give you the technology, and I'll give you the way to interact with the technology. And then there's a couple other steps to set it up, and I'll walk through that inside of the course. But I'm happy to provide the sample files. I probably won't give a lot, maybe just like 4 or 5 different files, so you can get it to where it runs and it works. And then you can see, on your own, and I'll help you link it up. It's not real hard if you can navigate making folders or anything like that, or the amount of code required is not too much. So, occasionally you can see these triangle tops, they don't break out, or the rectangle tops don't break out, but overall they do. Well, what I want to do with it is say, I don't want to run it on every single stock every single day. That's a process, and what I want to do is run it on a small amount of stocks and then get the most meaningful data out of it, so that when you have that pattern, you can say, hey, I'm gonna buy a put option for the day, or I'm gonna buy a call option for the day. So let me just briefly just peek inside of the technology here. And so what I did was, I had to go through and just kind of wipe out some of these directories, which this is not hard. I mean, this is just looking at like, hey, I've got my folder file system on my computer, and if I go to like this PC and I go to my C drive, chances are you've done something like that before, and if you click in that box, that just shows you where you're at. Well, this just shows you that, I want to work out of my E drive. So this is my E drive. It's an external hard drive with a lot of projects on it. And I'm then saying, within that drive, hey, here's my package. Okay, all of this stuff, this is separate that I'm going to walk through inside the course, but basically to make it fast, it's allowing Mathematica to interact with C++. And so in the downloads, when you sign up for the course, if you choose to sign up, I'll give you the package, I'll give you the shell to interact with the package, and then I'll walk you through exactly how to link this up. I'll give you, some of the basic return files. I don't think I'm going to give you all of them because it's a really big file, but enough to run it and get it to work on your own. And, from there, if you'd like to work more in like custom applications, then that's what I'll go through in the advanced course, and that's what I'm working on with it right now is, okay, I've got it to run, I've got it to work, I've got enough confidence that the patterns are doing what they're supposed to do. Obviously, once in a while they don't, but on, an extensive amount of data, they're showing that, they do work. And from my more recent tests, what I'm seeing is that, when you like condition on volume, they work real well. I split things up into like different size stocks. So I think that, there's a lot of opportunity to explore this more, and then see like, where you can continue to work on it. Sorry, I'm kind of turning my head. I got my microphone right in front of me, and I'm trying to see where the video screen is at. So you see everything that I see, and I'm showing you how to link everything up. Don't try to sit and type out all this code. in the very beginner course, which if you're not familiar with this technology, that's where I want you to start. I'll walk through how the smoother works. So what it's doing is it's saying, let's look at, this AICC. I'll break down what that is. The window size, that's just like how many prices you want to look over, and in the beginner version I'll show you it in a big grid on Excel and walk through how it works. And then in this version of it, I'll give you the package to run more data on it, and we'll just do it with a small amount of data. So up to you what you want to do from there, but there's a lot of technology in here, and so this is just going to extend out like what we did with the Excel file, and then in the advanced course I'll take that and I'll extend it even further to real-time data, and then I'll also take a look at how we can improve it. If there's my thinking is that it'll work on real-time data, but getting it to where like it's consistent. So if we look back at like the last 15 days of like 2-minute or 5-minute data, and then running it on a bunch of different futures, how confident can we be that like when a top happens it's going to go down, or when a bottom happens it's going to go up? So that's what I'm working on for the advanced. And from this particular version that I showed you with the image data, the bottom patterns are positive one day after the pattern. The top patterns are negative one day after the pattern. And then the broadening, bottom and top, they're both positive. So when I extend it to the more recent update, we include both double top and double bottom, and then the broadening patterns, they improve. So I think there's some trade-offs, but we'll see what works best for real-time application. And once I'm done working on that, then I'll start to continue to record and update and post and maybe blog about it. And once I know that it works real well, then I'll start to fill out the courses. And right now they're on pre-sale. They're on pre-sale because that's the direction I'm working towards, is getting them to work in real time. I'm confident enough that they will work and there'll be an application that'll be worth it. But I might try to pilot it with a small group of people that are real interested in it. And like the pre-sale is $5,000 for the advanced on my site, and it says there's a lot of videos and calls. What I'm going to do is just record like probably 7-8 different videos, like step by step by step. Okay, you got the intermediate version linked up on your computer. Now this is how you extend it to real time, and then I'll talk about like where you can get the data from, what the different options are. Right now my thinking is like TradeStation. I had an account there that I had put like $5,000 in a while ago, like years ago, like 7-8 years ago, and I took the money out. Well, I still get the data, and I've used it recently to publish. I published a paper using neural networks and using their data to run neural nets on a custom application. So I'm going to start with TradeStation, and then I'm going to look at other available sources, and then I'll post the different options inside the advanced course for where you can go. And then once I start to test it, I'll post the results of the testing there. And then once I get something where there's like a real sweet spot, then I'll start to share it with you. I can't promise that I'll be able to like email everything out, but these particular examples that I just went through, it took like 15 seconds to do 2 different stocks, and that's with as much price history that's available. I think it'll be a lot faster if we're just looking at like a couple of examples, but I'll try to get it as streamlined as possible before I fully release it. And if I can get like maybe 2 to 5 people that want to look at it, on a deep discount for being very early adopters that want to give feedback on it and, provide some framework for how it might go, then I'm open to exploring that. Otherwise, once I fill it out and it works and I've got everything in there, then I'll probably up the price, to either like 10,000 or 7,500 or something.